go through making a beeswax polish. So beeswax polish, the reason you chuck it on, that's what it looks like by the way once it's finished. The reason you chuck it on is the oil does the same thing as it would normally, okay, so it moisturizes, protects, yep, but the wax gives it a better polishing ability, okay, so you can actually buff it up and polish up, okay, so you'll get a better shine out of a beeswax polish than you will out of just oil. The other benefit to the wax is that small cracks and fissures will get filled by that wax, okay, improving the surface, making it a little bit smoother. Okay. Fair warning though, if it's a big crack, yep, this isn't going to help you. Okay, shitwork's still going to be shitwork at the end of it. I've done this for a little bit and I've found the mix that I prefer is a 6:1 ratio. Okay, and it is a ratio. So about a litre of your oil needs about 160 grams of beeswax. That's the mixture I prefer. If you like it a little bit runnier, just change the ratio, put more oil in, put less beeswax in, okay, and have a plate. I have used 4:1 before as well. I really like that for a surface that's going to get washed a lot, like chopping board, stuff like that. The reason I like that is because there's a greater wax content which gives you better water protection. Okay, so if you're putting something and you want it to be around water a lot, put more wax in. Over here we have a bunch of different examples of oils. Some you should use, some you shouldn't. Okay, so this one here, added drying agents, don't use this. If you put heat to this, all that's going to happen is the drying agents are going to go off and you've just wasted like 40 bucks. So well done. Stuff that I haven't used before, but I'm assuming you can, is things like Danish and teak oil. Okay, teak oil is really expensive. I probably wouldn't use it for this application just based on that. Okay. Also, it's got a 4 to 8 hour drying time, so I'm unsure if there's any drying agents in there. Normally, oils take about a day, 24 hours, up to like tongue oil, which realistically should take about 7 days to actually proper cure. Okay. Danish oil, same thing. Danish oil, generally speaking, is tongue oil, okay, or at least has some tongue oil in it. But if it says Danish oil, it's likely that it's got other things in there as well. If it says 100% tongue oil, it is 100% tongue oil. Right? So when you're looking for it, try and get the tongue oil itself. It's only a little bit dearer than linseed. Linseed's like your traditional. Yeah? Really good, real cheap. I think this was 18 bucks. 18 bucks for a litre. Okay, so pretty cheap. Linseed oil does tend to darken your timber quite a lot. Okay, so if you want a slightly lighter finish, go for more your tongue oil stuff. Okay. The beeswax, got it online. I think Glenn said this one was 15 bucks for a kg. That will mix up to about 7 litres of finish. Okay, which is quite a lot of finish. Yeah. Any questions so far?
You talked about tongue oil, just tell me what's going on with it. I've got no idea.
Yep, so tongue oil, T-U-N-G, okay, comes from a tree, same as linseed, squeezed out. It's, as far as woodworkers are concerned, tongue oil is like the god of oil finishes. So it's one of the few oils that actually cures, okay, so it actually creates a solid film on your surfaces, which gives it a much harder wearing surface for an oil finish. Whereas things like linseed, things like what's some of the others? Linseed, your mineral oil, stuff like that, it actually doesn't cure, it doesn't harden. Okay, so it stays as it's oiled inside the timber. Yeah? Okay. So they're less hard wearing. But in saying that, they're all oil finishes, so they're not particularly hard wearing in the first place. Alright, you will have to likely reapply oil finishes to get back to that sheen. Okay. We're going to mix up a litre today using the boiled linseed. You can also get raw linseed, absolutely fine. So we need about 160 grams of beeswax. Luckily for you, I have already measured out 160 grams, just so that we're not fucking around.
Which will make how many litres though?
So this kg will make about 7 litres roughly.
And 160
160 will make about a litre.
A litre.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just a ratio of 6 to 1. Right? If you only want to make half a litre, like this one here, just put in 80 grams of beeswax. Okay. You can either do that with the scales, or you can do it volume wise. Okay. So you can fill your container, okay, to about 6 parts. Add your wax until it hits the line that you want, okay, and then mix it in. And there's enough leeway there that if you're out by like 5 grams, 10 grams, whatever, it doesn't really make too much of an effect. Things that help you with cutting your beeswax, butane torch and something metal, okay, helps quite a lot. Yep.
Making some baggies.
Now we add pseudo-effigy.
It does take quite a while for this stuff to heat up and cook up. It will look really, really ugly for quite a while until the wax fully melts back in. Okay? So you'll end up with like floaters all through it because the wax is sort of come off the main block and then it's actually gone to a cooler part of the oil and re-solidified. Okay, so you'll end up with a ton of floaters. Just keep cooking it until basically all those floaters are gone. Right. To save some time, I'll mix that up after the presentation, make sure Glenn has a decent amount. But to save some time, I've got, like I said, some that we've already pre-done. For our whakare, this was coated yesterday. I found that a standard like nugget brush is really good getting into all those cracks. What you're aiming for is the sort of consistency of nugget, okay? And you just buff it in. Right. And that's what gets that nice sheen going. Right. So you can have a look at that. Sorry, it's my work, so there's tons of mistakes. Smells like beeswax.
Question,
Yep.
do you dry brush off?
Yep, you can dry brush off. It's essentially what you're doing is you're basically making nugget for wood.
Can you colour it, Rick?
You can colour it, okay, but I have not.
Play around with it?
You just play around with it because you can always recook it if you don't like the mix. Add more of the thing to make it harder. Yeah, more beeswax makes it harder. Less beeswax makes it softer.
If you put more coats on it, will it make it darker?
Yeah. So the linseed oil will still do what it's doing.
Oh,
Yep. So if you've used linseed before, it'll still go in there. It'll still slowly make the wood darker, right? But as you can see, you're getting quite a lot more polish out of this kind of wax than just your oil.
Can you apply it on top of old?
Yep, you can put it on top of old stuff, as long as the old stuff isn't like a varnish, because it won't penetrate the varnish.
I want to do my
So traditionally, they tell you to put the oil on first and then coat with the beeswax. I personally haven't found any difference in the finished product by doing that. And considering there's no real difference in price, I find it just easier just to ship it all on. It does take about a day or so to properly sort of dry up, but you can buff it off once it's soaked in a bit, and it will be touch dry in about 5-10 minutes.
Just stay shiny like that.
Stay shiny like that. Yep. That's only been coated once, so in a wee while I'll probably do another 2 or 3 coats.
in the same day.
You can do it in the same day.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, you'll get a finish like that on the first coat. Alright.
This is Whitey.
And what I've been experimenting with as well is a bit of poor man's beeswax. Okay, so this is dubbin uncoloured. Okay, so you can get this stuff. It's like a kiwi nugget, except it doesn't have the stain in it. This is actually quite cool because it doesn't darken your timber nearly as much. So depending on what sort of look you're going for, darker or lighter, you could maybe try some of this. I haven't tried this for very long though, so I can't say if it lasts all that long. But essentially all you're doing is you're moisturising, hydrating the timber, okay, and protecting it from sunlight damage. Any questions? We all good?
What did you say about that one, Bruce? That one, that's no good?
So if it says it has drying agents, don't use it because you're just going to waste your money. So what will happen is the drying agents will cure while it's getting heated up, and then you'll end up putting it into your pot, and it'll be dry. Yeah, so it won't soak into your timber.
It's the drying agent. How do you know if it's got drying agent?
Added drying agents.
Dubbin?
So yeah, just check your stuff. Make sure it doesn't have any drying agents in it.
So you just warming it so it gets together, or will
Yep.
it boil?
So we don't want to boil the oil. We just want to heat it up enough to melt the wax and combine it all through. Then we're going to pour it into our container and we just let it dry, or let it cool down enough to become like this. It does take a while. It does take a while. To speed it up, you can put it in a cold bath, just to speed it up. But even that, I sped this one up, and it still took about 20 minutes for it to fully cool down. Yeah? It's you got to remember, it's like heated oil. Yeah? It's pretty hot. Try some of that, Bree. Go for it. So yeah, that's it. There's not much really involved in it. It's just getting the right ratio and using it. Cool, man.
Is this stuff bad to have on your hands?
Beeswax is fine, and the oils are fine as well. Like linseed's used for tools all over the place. So. Yeah, so they look really shit because they sort of come off and then they solidify over there, and then so it looks shit for a while, and then it sort of clears up.